1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
She has it on.
Hello. I have on the plasma.
Hello, mic check 1, 2, 3, and I don't think. Hi everyone on Facebook. Carolyn Serta here with Emily Eddington Dihle.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And thank you all for your patience at home. I know you have been waiting a little longer than our 5-minute countdown that we had on there, but we worked out all the little kinks and we are rolling now. This is part of our Women at Work series. We highlighted Emily, if you watched the 6:30 newscast. We talked a little bit about your journey to become a businesswoman, a YouTuber, a beauty YouTuber, and also now a creator of your very own makeup. Let's dive right into that. Tell me about your makeup.
Yeah, well, right here we've got the Needs and the Wants palettes, and that's a creation that I was able to put together with a brand called Makeup Revolution, and they're a global brand. So this is not just here in the United States in Ulta stores, but this is going to be all over the globe. It's currently in a lot of different drugstores in Europe too. It's just everywhere, and that's really, really strange to me because I've spent months working on it, you know, kind of keeping it a secret, keeping it under wraps, and now it's all open to the public.
Yeah,
so.
and some people, I think they've had some questions already of is it just eyeshadow or what? And it's not. Yes, you have a large one here with eyeshadow, but tell us a little bit about what's in the palette.
Absolutely. The Needs palette over here, this is like the little multitasker. This is for the busy person on the go, wants like practically every step of makeup just in one little condensed package. So that's the really practical thing, I think, to reach for. And then the Wants is more just the fun, like give me some splashes of color, let me, you know, do my own thing. And
they had a little shot of it here if you want to take a look of all the different colors that she has here. So
yeah, like have a different look every day, basically. That's what I've been hearing from a lot of people, and that's been probably one of the coolest things, Carolyn, has been like getting to get feedback now that people have ordered their palettes, they've got them in, they're Instagramming me their looks that they've done with them, and you know, they're traveling with them and showing me, you know, here's the Needs in my bag. So that's been really cool to see, and just really unexpected.
Yeah, and we are here live streaming on Facebook. So if you have any questions for Emily, some of you watching right now probably recognize her from a few years back. She was a WSIL anchor for 6 years, or how?
Yeah, I was at the station for 6 years, and on the morning show for 4 of those years with Kevin. So we go way back, and yeah, those were some of the funnest times for sure. Even though the morning show schedule is grueling, as anybody will tell you, it was really a new adventure every day.
Yeah. So we're glad to have you back in the studio. The first thing she said when she walked in, you were like, it smells the same.
It's not, everywhere that you build an attachment to has a scent, you know, it kind of has a library scent.
Right, yeah.
It's good. I like it. It feels like home, you know.
Yeah. Well, we are glad to have you here talking again, for those just joining us, with Emily Eddington Dihle, talking about her new makeup palettes, but not only that, just your entire journey to get here, because you're also very successful on YouTube, not necessarily with these. You've been reviewing makeup for a decade, more than a decade.
Yeah, this project has been a long time coming. I feel like I've been doing beauty videos actually before, well, right around the time I guess I started at the station. It all kind of, you know, layered up sort of as my hobby, my after work activity, and I love doing videos. It's just a way to talk about something I feel passionately about. You learn that there's a huge community of people out there who feel the same way, and I've enjoyed doing the video thing so much, and it's kind of cool that that was able to transform sort of from hobby into more of a career, you know.
Yeah, you mentioned you started on YouTube before there was even a way to make money on YouTube.
Yeah. So that shows some age there on me, but you know, you hear about people making big careers out of YouTube these days, but back then it was really just, you know, let's share some crazy cat videos and, you know, all the just whatever random stuff you could find on YouTube, and it was all just for fun. And I kind of love that it was born out of that, because I've really tried to keep my channel true to that idea of I'm doing this because I feel passionately about it. it. It's a nice added bonus to be able to make money at it, but it really is something I do because it's fun.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we do have a lot of comments coming in. We have Jeff, the producer, saying hi.
Oh, good. Good, Jeff.
Yeah,
thank you.
Our 5 o'clock producer used to work with Emily, so he says hello. We also have Brenda Rose. What equipment did you use when you first started? Brenda Rose Prell is asking that question.
Well, I started off with just the most inexpensive camera you could get at Best Buy. You know, I didn't know if this was going anywhere, people, so I just like, let's not invest too much in this. I didn't have anything to really invest in it anyway, so I just got, you know, a really inexpensive camera, and I didn't have any lighting to speak of or anything that made it really look professional. I started out with the smallest little thing I could find, and the nice thing about it is you can kind of test the waters that way and see if it's for you, and then you can build on that and kind of get into some better equipment and some things that make it look a little more professional. But overall, I kind of like that I'm not in a studio setting. I mean, I do these videos in my home, and I think there's a little character to that, a little intimacy to that that you know, the studio setting doesn't really give. So we keep it homey.
Yeah. It's in your home in Williamson County. Her studio is not.
We call it the makeup room.
The makeup room. You mentioned she has 2 daughters as well, who are represented here in the palette as well.
Yeah.
And you said they go in there and they want to touch all the makeup.
They want to get into it. They don't really fully grasp what mommy does, but they know that there's a lot of stuff in there that they'd like to paint all over the walls, probably, if given the chance. So, yeah, they say swatch, actually. Like, my littlest one is 1.5, and she'll come up and she'll say, swatch, mommy, swatch, and she'll hold her hand out and she'll want one of these shades, like, on her hand. So that's one of her cuter tricks. So
they understand that it's, you know, fun colors. That okay.
Yeah, they get that. They get that much.
Let's see if we have Kevin Huntsberger, your former co-anchor, says hello to you.
Hi, Kevin.
Kaylee, I think that's right, says that we love you. Emily, so glad this happened for you. Longtime subscriber from the apartment days.
Yay.
Oh, so okay, so you started out in an apartment.
Yes.
And then, okay.
Yeah, the apartment days in Carbondale, and I do have a shadow named after the wood paneling of those days.
What color is that?
That's the brown right over here.
It's called apartment.
It's literally what it looks like.
We have Julie says, love Emily and love the Needs palette, so versatile. Great to see you again. Good luck from Isabel. Christopher says, wow, 997,000 subscribers for her YouTube channel. That's impressive stuff. That really is. You are very humble, but this is nearly 1 million people around the world that look at your videos.
Yeah, I'm not sure really why, but it's going to be a really exciting milestone to eventually hit 1 million, and I can't believe I'm speaking those words, because truly there was the 10,000 subscriber mark. I remember that. 20,000, like all these different milestones that you hit were a huge deal to me, you know, and I don't really ever want to lose that appreciation for where this channel has grown from, because it's just been a real, you know, it's been a real humble beginning for my channel, but now I really am proud of what I've been able to do, and it's been with the support of people, you know, people watching, tuning in day after day, making it just a part of their everyday routine to turn on a video while they're getting ready in the morning or making dinner or whatever it might be. So I'm so thankful for being allowed to have that kind of involvement in people's lives.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, so true of the case. What we're in right now in society, people right now, they're probably watching TV and have this on a cell phone or there's iPad
layers of technology in front of you. Yeah.
Okay, let's get to some more comments. We have Christy Bowers just says, hi, Emily.
Hi.
Ann Sneed, where can you buy her products? And we talked a little bit about this in our segment earlier. If you want to see it, it's pinned at the top of these comments. But you sold out within minutes of your.
We sold out at Ulta, and that was. I can't comprehend that, but that happened, and so they're now back in Ulta on Ulta.com. Some stores, I think, are getting some stock back. So if you want to see them in person, there's testers out there and everything. But for any international audience that might be tuning in, it's revolutionbeauty.com, and they will ship worldwide too. So that's really cool.
Yeah, and we do have that link there in the story here.
Thank you.
So you can go ahead and click on there, and if you love the makeup here, then you can go ahead and buy it. Brenda, we need to get her to says we need to get you to 2 million subscribers.
2 million. So. All right. Let's get cracking,
that.
Folks.
Go
Share
ahead.
with your friends.
Click on the YouTube link and go ahead and buy there. Maggie says, Emily, you've made such an incredible name for yourself. You've made small town Illinois so proud.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, that video we saw of you in the Ulta in Carbondale, where you got emotional seeing the palette.
My husband, the cameraman. But yeah, that was something else. I mean, you just don't expect to have that kind of experience in a lifetime, to see something that you really poured yourself into and that other people turned out to like. I mean, that was so cool. And there was a lady in there who at that moment had picked up the last ones, and I'm like crying, you know, in public, ugly cry in front of all these people, and I like just hug her. I mean, I would have liked to have given her a hug anyway, but I literally needed a person to hug in that moment. I was crying and just very emotional over this whole thing, but yeah, that was a great day.
Yeah. Is there anything that, I see some more comments are coming in, but I'm going to give you a little bit more time to talk about the business side of it, because this is, as you mentioned, started as a hobby, but then once it did turn into what you said, you know, as a way that you could pay your rent, I believe is the way you said it. How did that shift change for you?
Well, once the AdSense program became available to creators on YouTube, that's where
the commercials come in?
Yes, that's where, you know, if you catch a commercial and you're like, oh, darn these ads before my YouTube video I want to see, but that is helping the individual who has put together that video. And you know, YouTube content, that's free to watch, and so it's nice that creators can have that way of staying true to their content, doing what they really want to do, not having to necessarily take sponsorships, which that is a big thing in this community, is actually being sponsored, being paid to do a review for a certain brand. And that's been something, I mean, this is kind of going off the beaten path here, but that's something I've really stayed away from, just because I didn't want, it feels strange to me if I'm going to try to do unbiased reviews and then this brand's going to pay to have their thing featured and only want positive feedback on it. Right. That's kind of a controversial thing, I feel like, in this community right now. But no, the introduction of AdSense was really a huge thing, and it made something go from hobby to side job to eventually career. So.
Yeah. And today you mentioned we talked about getting you to 2 million subscribers, but it is based on numbers. It is based on views, how many people watch, how many people
The amount of
comment.
time they spend watching is another thing that has kind of entered into the equation too, and that matters a lot for, I think, the advertisers too, because you can put multiple ads, place them within your video, and these advertisers and, you know, YouTube in general, they're wanting people to stay tuned in longer. That's going to result in better revenue for the creator as well. So yeah, that's something I don't think a lot of people think about, because it's kind of hard to attach a real stat to it, you know, but that's really important, definitely. So if you want to support a creator, you watch them the whole video.
So do you get to decide where the placement of the commercials, or how exactly does that work?
I can't choose the ads, so like whatever comes up there will just be what it will be, but yeah, I can make an ad show up at the start of the video, the end of the video, and if the video like exceeds a certain amount of time, different places in between, and I try not to really overload them, because you don't want to, you know, lose audience due to ad frustration, but it is definitely something that's beneficial, and it helps the people who make videos. So.
And then for your particular industry, the beauty industry, you also have another way that you can earn a living off of being on YouTube, which is the links. in your videos.
And this goes for YouTubers or bloggers. A way to earn additional revenue can be to link to the specific products you might be talking about. And when people click on those links, it's known as an affiliate link, and then a portion of the cost of that product can go back to you. And I think just what's really important where that's concerned is to be very forthcoming with your audience, leave the disclaimers. There's a lot required from the FTC to be very, put it all out there that that's an affiliate link, or I got product samples for free from X brand or whatever it might be. So I think as long as the creator is very honest about where their product is coming from and what the links are that are there, then the viewer can make the choice. Do I want to support them by clicking that link, or do I want to seek it out on my own? And so I think, it's a great thing, because I would normally link to additional information on whatever product I might be talking about regardless.
Right.
So that way it can just, be even more beneficial. So.
Yeah, because then the company knows that they found that product through you.
That's true, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, maybe companies start to realize just how valuable this whole YouTube landscape can be to what they're putting out there too. So.
We talked a little bit about this that didn't make the piece earlier, and for those just joining us, I see a few more people joining us online. Carolyn Serta here with WSIL, and we're talking to Emily Eddington Dihle. She's a beauty YouTuber. Also, just recently, just a few weeks ago, came out with her own makeup line here. The Emily Edit. We have the wants and the needs palettes here, and we're talking about women at work. And when we talk about the workforce, you maybe think someone in an office. Your office happens to be at home in your own, in a separate room that you have at home. Yeah. But you still face challenges. You still have the work-life balance that you need. We've talked about before, and also harassment online. Unfortunately, in the past decade, has exploded into an online bullying form. There, and you mentioned that initially there had been some negative comments on your videos. Yeah,
that's something that absolutely everyone is going to deal with. If you're new to, maybe starting a blog or a YouTube channel, please don't be scared off by some negative comments here and there, because it's just, it just comes with the territory. And I always tell myself, with the positive and the negative, it says more about the person leaving the comment usually than it does about me or whoever the individual is that's making the content. There's some really kind people who are taking the time out of their day to say something super nice, and then you'll have occasionally somebody who's not so positive, and that's okay. And I think you've just got to be able to sort of get over that hump, be confident enough in what you're doing to say, I'm happy with this, I feel good about it myself personally, and I want to keep it up. And I really think in 10 years on YouTube, I've kind of outworked some of the haters. Like, I feel like maybe there's some people who got on there and they're like, man, this chick just isn't leaving. She's just not leaving this platform. So, all right, I give up. So you can always try to outlast them.
We do have some more comments here. We have, Kaylee wants to know what made you start makeup?
Well, makeup in general was just from like being in church and digging through my mom's purse and just getting that fascination with products. And I loved, like, anytime I was in a Walmart or a drugstore, like, lip gloss, mascara, I need to try it, I need to see it. But I just always, it's become a creative outlet, really. And I think that's what it was all along, was just sort of, you're in school, or I did cheerleading or whatever it may be, and then the makeup is sort of where the freedom is, where the fun is. And so that's kind of what reeled me in. And once starting at the station, it was just kind of that necessary thing. As you know, you've got to have some amount of knowledge of makeup if you're going to be on HD television. And so it kind of worked as a necessity and a hobby, kind of all rolled into one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. In the news business, especially like you said, once they got into the HD cameras and things of that nature.
Makes a difference.
We have another question here from Kim Jasper. She asks, hi Kim, thank you for joining us. How often do you film videos? How many hours per week? Is it a full-time job?
Yes, it's full-time squeezed into some sometimes unusual hours of the day, some non-typical workday hours, but well, right now, since the addition of these palettes, I've been putting out an extra video per week, so that makes 5 videos that I'm doing now, and so pretty much every day, nearly every day, I'm getting up and I'm shooting something. So that might be sitting in front of the camera talking, that might be some additional like swatches and B-roll for anybody out there. Like, I mean, just the extra stuff that you need. And then there are those days, if I'm not shooting a video, I'm testing something. I'm trying something. I'm putting it through some trial and error for an upcoming review. So every morning I get up at around 5, and that's not too impressive because I used to wake up at 1 for the morning show. But that's when I get the ball rolling, because those are my quiet hours. I got 2 kids, 3 and under, so that's the time I know I get in the day, and I take full advantage of that. Take full advantage of nap time, and also my parents are in the area, so that's been fantastic to give me sometimes a couple hours of extra editing time here and there. But there's the shooting, which is probably the more minimal amount of time that I spend toward my projects. Actually, shooting a video may take me less than an hour, but to edit it down, to make it really, you know, visually appealing and all that stuff, that's taking sometimes a couple of hours, just depending on length of the video. And then uploading, putting your links in there. There's all these like nitty-gritty little extra things that go into the final posted YouTube video. And then, of course, interacting with people, trying to get into the comments section. The nice thing about YouTube is you can schedule a video to go up anytime, which is very convenient. You can schedule it to go up at a time when you're not even home, or, you know, manning the computer or the laptop. But I really like to be around whenever a video goes up, so I can see, like, how's it going over, what questions, you know, what things did I not cover that I can answer here real quick for people who are first to tune in. So yeah, that's just kind of how I go about the whole posting thing.
And those are like the reviews and those type of things. Someone just mentioned here that they love, this is who? Martha McGee. Hello, Martha.
Hi, Martha.
She mentions that she loves the vlogs with your family. They are the highlight of my week. And so you don't
Bless your heart.
You don't just do the reviews, you also take the camera with you as you're out and about across Southern Illinois. I saw one recently, you went to, oh gosh, I just lost it, the out eating dinner with your family. Oh
yeah, we went out. We did go out and celebrate when the palettes launched. We went to Giant City Lodge.
Giant City.
Oh, that was good. That was good. And so yeah, if you like watching the vlogs, thank you, because they can be very mundane at times. They can be very like everyday life, you know. But I really wanted to introduce. I've been doing vlogs now for like, I think it's been 25 weeks or so straight now that I've been doing them, and I thought it was a way to let people in another level, you know, instead of just, I'm going to do a review here and there, you come for makeup info. But I think people want relatability, and they want to figure out like what makes that person tick, what's the real story behind this person that I'm investing time watching. And I know I'm that way too. I mean, I come from a reporter background. I want to know, you know, what the details are. So
kind of pulling the curtain back a little bit.
Yeah, and just giving a little sense of real life, because we're all multifaceted people here. We're all either, you know, we have something else than just the job. So I think that's important to show. Yeah,
and it shows you with your husband and your kids as well. Going out and about.
Sorry, I have to laugh because the clip you included had the frog and toad comment in the news story. I was like, yes, she got that.
Let's go to any other comments here. Andrea says hi to Emily and Carolyn. Emily, what surprised you most working on developing products?
Oh, wow. It's a whole other ball game than what I'd been exposed to in just the reviewing side, and just making decisions that are so permanent. I mean, you know, I do videos day in, day out. It seems very routine to me, but picking like that shade needs to be in there, and it needs to be named that, and it needs to be next to that one, and the order needs to make sense so people will be inspired to maybe use this or that together. Like, it's just I would go to bed and my head would be swirling. I'd be thinking about the palette. I would be literally dreaming about the palette, and then I'd wake up and I'd think, I need to make a change. Like, it's so weird, but it really gets in your head. And I felt the way I felt the first time I actually ever anchored a newscast here at Channel 3, because I filled in during the holidays once, and I thought, this is my only shot. That was the way I felt about it. So I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I thought, this has to work. Like, if I have any hope of doing something at this station, like, I've got to do a good job here because it's my only shot. And so this, to me, I don't know, maybe one day I would be able to create some other products down the road, but I invested so much in this, just seeing it as, I really want to see these products do well and make them everything I think they should be. And so there's a lot of pressure you put on yourself from the creator's standpoint, and I really respect anybody else who has tried to do this, or just, you know, the brands that do this day in and day out. It's no joke, so tough.
Yeah. I'm trying to get to some more comments here because they keep coming, and I keep having to scroll up to try and find them. Let's get a couple of people here. We have Amber, hi to you. Andrea, I mentioned already, Lottie, Kim, and Aricela says, Emily, what a joy to see you getting some well-deserved recognition. Thank you for your integrity. I'm trying to hit a little more because she says more, but I can't get that going. Amber wants to know, are your products gluten-free? They are cruelty-free, and I believe they are gluten-free, but can I might need to double check that fact. Okay. I know they're not 100% vegan, but I will look into that. I promise. And we'll put it in the comment here. Yeah. I can go back and probably add a comment to this or something after the fact. So. If you guys out there, thank you again for joining us here on Facebook. Have any last questions? Emily, again, is a working mom, so you have your 2 kiddos and your husband to get back to. That's right. Here, we thank you so much for joining us on this late evening on a Thursday. Thank you for having me. This is so cool. Seriously. Snuffer's in the house. Hey, we can say things like that, right? This is Facebook. This is Facebook. It's fine. Snuffer, you want to come and say hi to Facebook? No, he's hanging out. Okay. Mike Snuffer, that's our news director here, just hanging out in the background over there. So yeah, any last questions before we let Emily go? Trying to scroll up to see if there's any that I missed here. Any advice for someone wanting to do something similar to what you're doing? I think that's a good one. Well, I would say just really treat it kind of like a hobby at first, and definitely put your time into it, put your full self into it, but realize that Rome wasn't built in a day, and it can be a really long-term project. I mean, I've been at this now for 10 years, and it's really something that I've done because I enjoyed it. You know, it keeps me waking up early in the morning to shoot that next video or be excited about that next product I want to review for people or whatever it may be. So you need to find the thing that really keeps you excited, regardless of if it turns out to be a huge financial success, I think. You mentioned before starting this out as a hobby, as a side thing for you. Yeah. I mean, that's really how it was born. YouTube. I started when YouTube was fairly early, you know, in its infancy, and so I do credit some of the growth that I had to simply being around a long time. I think it can be harder to break into the beauty community on YouTube now, simply because there are so many people doing it. When I started, there weren't quite as many, so it was maybe a little easier to stand out. So. Yeah, that was sort of an unfair advantage, maybe. You know, people always wonder, what was your unfair advantage? That's kind of mine, I think. So. All right. Well, thank you so much, Emily, for joining us tonight on Facebook. With everyone out there on Facebook, thank you for taking some time, whether you're eating dinner or watching another TV show right now in front of you. Nobody's multitasking. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, Emily's palettes are available online at Ulta and Makeup Revolution. Yes, Makeup Revolution's website. Yes, and Ulta in Carbondale is looking to restock. I know they're out of stock as of now, but they should be getting some more in. So. All right, so be looking for her palettes. And again, if you have any other questions, just send them our way and we'll try and get an answer for you. Otherwise, have a great night, and we'll see you tonight at 10. Bye.